Hello everyone, I am Nishu and I am back today with the second division Pyrophyta of Kingdom Protista. In my last video, I have discussed about division Chrysophyta, in which I discussed about the examples like diatoms, desmids. Now here today I will be talking about dinoflagellates. So your division Pyrophyta, the division belonging to Kingdom Protista, it involves the organisms dinoflagellates. Dinoflagellates are involved in the Kingdom Protista. Now, what are the examples which we are going to take place during the study of this dinoflagellates? Examples which we are going to take here are Noctulica, then we will be taking about Serratium, then your Gymnodium, Pyrocystis, and Goniolix. These are the examples which we will be taking up during the study of dinoflagellates of division Pyrophyta in Kingdom Protista. Now, these dinoflagellates are most important organisms, and from here a large number of questions are being asked in your competitive exams as well as in your board exams. All the different type of questions which are being asked, I will be explaining here. I will be taking up in this session. So these are the examples which we are going to consider during the study of dinoflagellates. These are all what? They are dinoflagellates. So we will be talking about in every aspect, we will be taking up these examples to explain various types of concepts, various type of points, characteristic features. Now this division Pyrophyta or dinoflagellates, they neither belong to plant-like protistas, or they are neither belonging to animal-like protistas. They are neither like plant-like or they are neither animal-like. Both they are of your dinoflagellates. They neither belong to plant-like or animal-like protistans. I told you that your protistans are either like plant-like or they are animal-like or they are fungus-like. So they are not belonging to plant-like also, and they are not belonging to animal-like also. Now I am going to start with the general characteristic features of dinoflagellates of division Pyrophyta. Till yet I have told you all that what were the examples and what are the in which category they are taken up. Now if I start with the first character, that is your habitat. Dinoflagellates are aquatic. They are aquatic. In aquatic also, they may be freshwater organisms or they may be marine organisms, but mainly they are marine. Mainly the organisms are marine, but it is not that they will not be freshwater. Some of the freshwater examples are also present, but mainly they are marine. Now the third important point is that they float on the surface of water. They float on the surface of water. How? I'll be taking up in the next characters when I'll be taking about your cell structures and all. So these are the characteristics of your habitat, that the organisms of the dinoflagellates, They are aquatic. In aquatic, they may be freshwater, they may be marine also, and they float on the surface of water. Now I am moving to the next character, that is your cell structure. Now I am taking your second characteristic feature, cell structure. I have drawn a very rough general structure over here of a dinoflagellate according to your NCERT book. This type of diagram has been shown there. So cell structure. Generally the cell wall of your dinoflagellates are having plates. This is a plate-like structure. Cell wall is divided into plates. So first point you can say that cell wall divided into plates. So plates you can see over here in the diagram that they are divided into plates. Now these plates are made up of, cell wall is made up of cellulose. Cell wall is made up of cellulose. And hence you can see this diagram here, this type of shape it is having. So it is also called as armored algae. It is also called as armored algae. This is very important. It is another name of your dinoflagellates. That why is dinoflagellate called as armored algae? Armored algae because of its shape. Now the cell wall is made up of, it is divided into different plates you can see, and this cell wall is made up of cellulose. Now if I take the next point, then here these dinoflagellates are haploids. Dinoflagellates are haploid. They are haploid organisms. Now another point, if I say what is the another characteristic feature of dinoflagellates, then in them histone protein is absent. There are two types of proteins which are present in chromosomes. So histone protein absent in chromosomes. Histone protein is absent in chromosome. So that is why this type of chromosomes are called as mesokaryotes. These type of organisms are called as mesokaryotes. Hope this is clear that your cell wall is divided into plates. Cell wall is made up of cellulose. Because of its shape, it is called as armored algae. Dinoflagellates, these organisms are your haploid organisms. Histone protein, it is absent in the chromosome, hence it is called as mesokaryotes. Now, what is happening if I talk about the pigments? What are the type of pigments which are present? So here, the different type of pigments which are present are your chlorophyll A and chlorophyll C. These two type of chlorophylls are present, chlorophyll A and chlorophyll C. Along with carotene is also present. Along with it, xanthophyll is also present. Xanthophyll is also present. Now this xanthophyll is of two types. Now what are they? Dinoxanthophyll. This is the first one. And the second one is Didinoxanthophyll. Didinoxanthophyll. So these are the types of chlorophyll which is present, and your carotene and xanthophyll is present. These are the pigments which are present in the dinoflagellates. Now because of the pigments which are present in them, the organisms of dinoflagellates, they appear to be golden brown or they appear to be yellow brown. These are the colors in which the organisms appear. That is your golden brown and yellow brown. So till yet I have discussed about the examples of your dinoflagellates. Examples like Noctiluca, Serratium, Gymnodium, Pyrocystis, Goniolix are the examples which are present in your dinoflagellates. Habitat, I told you that they are surviving in water. They may be fresh water also and marine also. They are floating on the surface of the water. If I talk about cell structure, then their cell wall is divided into plates. They are made up of cellulose. Then they are also called as armored algae because of this shape. Histone protein is absent in chromosome, hence called as mesokaryotes. Then the organisms are haploid. Chlorophyll A, chlorophyll C, xanthophyll. Then your carotene is present in them, and because of the pigments present in them, the organism appears to be golden brown or yellow brown. Now I will be taking up the next general characteristic feature, which is your nutrition. Now taking up the third general characteristic feature, that is your nutrition. Now I told you that they are having different type of pigments, and because of their pigments the organisms can be your heterotrophic also and they can be photosynthetic also. Now if they are photosynthetic, then I'll take the example of Gymnodium. Then another example is there, Oodinium. These are the two examples which can be taken from your photosynthetic. They are photosynthetic. Why? Because in them chlorophyll A and C is present. So because your chlorophyll A and C, xanthophyll and carotenes are present, so your these type of examples of dinoflagellates are photosynthetic. Now if there are some of the examples where, so first is what for photosynthetic, and second is what I told you, that there are some examples which proves that they are heterotrophic also. They are heterotrophic, food nutrition is also present, and in heterotrophic they are specially holophytic. They ingest spray. They are responsible to ingest prey. So what is there? They ingest prey. The example you can take from here, Noctiluca. Noctiluca is the example of your holophytic heterotrophic type of nutrition here, and the food which is stored, that food is stored in form of starch. If you remember, in diatoms the food was stored in form of fat. Here the food is stored in form of starch here. So this is all about your nutrition, that your mode of nutrition can be photosynthetic also and heterotrophic also. If they are photosynthetic, then Gymnodium, Oodinium are the examples, because your chlorophyll A, chlorophyll C, xanthophyll, carotene, all such type of pigments are present. And if they are heterotrophic, then it is especially holophytic type, because they ingest the prey. They all ingestion, digestion, absorption, all such processes are over there. So example is your Noctiluca, and the food is stored in form of starch. Now I will be taking up the another character, which is your locomotion. So hope this is clear to you. Now in the next character, if I take locomotion, then in this type of organisms your two flagella is present. The another character if I am taking, that is your locomotion. If I take up locomotion, then first point will be flagella present. Flagella present. Two flagella present. transverse flagella, and the other one is longitudinal flagella. Longitudinal flagella. There are two types of flagella, and they are having a whirling movement. This, children, I forgot to explain you all whirling movement, but I will be explaining it here by the name meaning. What do you mean by die? What do you mean by die? Die means two, and I know means whirling, and flagella is a locomotory organ. So two whirling movement. In Hindi you can consider it as a chappu. If a boat is there, and for moving the boat in the water, you need that whirling, you need that stick is there, and you need that whirling tool which is over there to move the boat in a forward direction. In Hindi it is called as chappu. So this whirling is a chappu like structure. So here your whirling is over there. So just now I have drawn the structure, that this is a rough diagram of this is plates and all are there. So one of the flagella will be moving longitudinal way, and the other will be moving in a transverse manner. So what happens? They help in pushing the water backward. They help them to move. They are aquatic. So these two flagellas are helping, the transverse flagella and longitudinal flagella are helping the organism in the locomotion for performing your whirling movement. I hope the meaning of the word whirling is clear to you, that it is a type of chappu through which the boat can be moved in a forward direction by pushing the water backward. So over here it is your whirling movement. So this is all about your locomotion, that flagella is present, two flagella present, one is transverse and other one is longitudinal, and the movement which is present here, that is your whirling movement, and that is why the organisms are called as dinoflagellates. Di means two, ino means whirling, and flagella is a hair-like structure which help the organism to move into the different directions. So this was all about your locomotion, and now I will be taking about reproduction. Now taking the next character, that is your reproduction. The organisms of dinoflagellates, they generally reproduce by asexual method. By asexual method, and that also by binary fission. They reproduce by asexual method, binary fission. Generally, mostly. Sexual mode is very rare. It is rare. Sexual mode of reproduction in the dinoflagellates are very rare. Now in the beginning I told you that dinoflagellates are haploid. They are haploid. So if you remember the life cycle I have discussed. So they are haploid, hence they are having zygotic meiosis. And what type of lifespan they will be having? They are having haplontic lifespan. They are having haplontic lifespan. So this was all about I have discussed till yet about your habitat, then your cell structure, nutrition, locomotion, reproduction. Now the next topic and the last which I will be discussing, that is your economic importance of your dinoflagellates by taking different examples into consideration. Now I am going to explain few of the examples of dinoflagellates which are very important, and many questions are being asked from it. Now, if I take the examples like Noctulica, Pyrocystis, Goniolix. Now these are the three type of examples of dinoflagellates which are also called as fire algae, or they are also called as night light. Which are the three examples? Noctulica, Pyrocystis and Goniolix. These are also called as fire algae or night light. Why? Why they are called so? They are called so because they have the property of bioluminescence. What is bioluminescence? It is a property of a type of glowing light. These type of organisms like Noctulica, Pyrocystis, Goniolix, they have this property and they appear to be as a glowing light. Their body shines during the time. So this property they are having. And why is this property present? This property is present because these type of organisms, they have a photogenic granules. They have photogenic granules present in cytoplasm. They are present in cytoplasm of the organism. So Noctulica, Pyrocystis, Goniolix, they are called as fire algae. Why? Because their body glows as light because of the granules, photogenic granules present in the cytoplasm of these type of dinoflagellates, and the property is called as bioluminescence. Now, if I take another example here, like your Goniolix, if I take here the example of Goniolix, now these type of organisms are also called as red tides. They are also called as red tides. Why? Because I told you one more thing, that they keep on floating on the surface of the water. Dinoflagellates, they float on the surface of water. So especially this type of Goniolix, red tide, they are also called as red tide because they keep floating on the surface of water and they divide in a very rapid motion. Their multiplication is very fast and they grow very fast on the surface of water and they appear to be in red in color. That is why Goniolix, a type of dinoflagellate, they are also called as red tides because they are red in color. They appear to be red in color and they cover up the whole surface of the water because they divide very fast. Their multiplication, the rate of growth is very fast. That is why they are also called as the water, the layers, the waves of the oceans, it appears to be red in color. So that is why it is called as red tides. And I told you that their multiplication rate is very fast. So they are growing at such a fast rate that they cover the whole surface of the water very rapidly, very fast, and they causes water blooms, and these water blooms pollutes the level of the water. They pollutes the water bodies. So that is why because of the multiplication, because of the growth rate, they are multiplying very fast, and that is why they are called as red tides. Now taking up next example again, like your Gymnodinium and your Goniolix. These are again very important. They are highly toxic in nature. These type of dinoflagellates are very toxic and they release a type of toxin called as sexy-toxin. Sexy-toxin. And this toxin is responsible for causing paralysis in human beings. They causes paralysis in human beings. They causes paralysis in human beings. And how do this toxin reaches the body? This toxin reaches the human body through the food chain. So this is the two type of dinoflagellates which are highly toxic and causes paralysis among the human beings. And as they are reaching through the food chain, so it is also dangerous for the aquatic organism as well as for the human beings even. Now one thing, is that this Noctiluca is also called as sea light, sea ghost. They are also called as sea ghost. Why? Because they shine very bright during the light time, during the light. So Noctiluca is also called as sea ghost, and as I told you few minutes back that it is also called as night light or fire algae, and along with that it is also called as sea ghost because they shine very bright, and the reason is only one, that your bioluminescence property is present in them. So this much all was about your division pyrophyta dinoflagellates. Hope this was all clear to you. Thank you.